who are going out there and making these claims like Polynesians are black or Egyptians are black and Native Indians are black and they came not from West Africa, and they came from I don't know where they came from. Somehow they claim that they are the original Americans, as though somehow that's going to change history. It's going to change how people view them. In fact, when I listen to the way they talk, they they sound crazy. They sound like you know black people. I don't know, just really bad. Makes black people just look real stupid. That's all I'm gonna say. But somehow they always seem to show photos of Samoan people, right, or my people back in the days, as though this is proof that Samoans are black. They are African American. They are they're originally black people. And here's what I gotta say about that. There is so much BS and it's such a lack of understanding. It's the same thing that you Afro nuts do when you look at the Egyptians and you just look at a photo and somehow they got brown skin, you automatically think that they're black or whatever you like to call it. And you don't even realize that in Samoan and Tongan culture, we have a lineage of where families came from. Every village has it. And in Samoa, a lot of Samoans do not trace their ancestors to Fiji. A lot of our family lineage, it traces to Tonga, while a lot of the Tongan lineage or the family tree traces it back to Fiji and to other Melanesian islands. And what people need to understand is that Polynesians and has been and I'm talking about the very high caste family. They have been intermarrying with Melanesians, Micronesians, and I would even say even Australian Aborigines. And I would even say they would have intermixed with even the native Indians. They would have intermixed with so many races, the high caste family, that when you look at the photos, you can clearly see a very big difference in a lot of the high caste family. You'll see um, a lot of them might have wide, big noses like Fijians and Africans, and then you'll find uh, a lot of them who has the original Polynesian features, And when I say that, it's the features that Europeans fell in love with. It's the features that they like because it looked very similar to Caucasians. And what people do not realize before this whole BS of the Taiwanese that we came out of Southeast Asia, um, is that a lot of the books in during that time was really trying to trace the uh, the Polynesian family tree to India. Okay, it was not traced to Asia, because the reason why they traced it back to India was because there were a lot of Polynesians whose facial features were more Easter Island in feature than just say Negroid or Asiatic. So that's why I say to people that to African Americans, stop looking at photos of or Fijians or whatever black race you may be. Stop looking at old photos of Samoans and Tongans back in the days, because what you don't realize is that if you really research and look into history, is that a lot of the Samoan families, I would say, uh, a lot of the Samoan families, right? They would trace a lot of the Samoan families. I'm sorry, I'm doing this live. what I mean is that if you look at a lot of the old photos, for example, you'll probably look at it and go, "Oh, that guy looks black," and you don't realize that this Samoan girl right over here married a Fijian. You don't realize that this Samoan chief has that his wife is not Samoan, that his wife is Tongan, and his wife could be half Fijian and half Tongan. Or if you look at this photo, you might think, "Oh, she, she's why does she, well, she looks kind of black or half black," but you don't even realize that she is probably a union or a mixture of Tongan, Fijian, and Samoan ancestry. And then you'll probably look at this photo over here, and you might think, why does she look different from the other pictures I showed you? And if you look at it, that was the feature and the look that Europeans liked. Okay, and you have to realize that in 1700, 1800, they were very racist. They would, if they looked at you and you had a big wide nose and you had like kinky hair or very dark skin, they would automatically like call you a name or just say you're ugly or whatever. You just need to go sit down and read it, the history of it. So this is my rant on especially those Afro nuts or Afrocentrics, whatever you like to call them, Afro Nazis. Um, you know that that look into try and find a unity on looking on old pictures to like somehow the original Samoan Tongans were black. BS. Okay, try and research the history. Try look at the photo and then find out the history of that person, and then you'll find out what I'm saying is true. Because you have to understand that when the Germans, the English came in the 1800s or whatever you call it, they blew up all our ships, all the ships and vessels that we went from one island to another. They destroyed it all. So all the intermixing of Polynesia just ended when the Europeans entered our lands. Yeah, so that's my 10-minute rant for today.